This is exactly right.
Hi.
Welcome to My Favorite Murder,
The mini episode.
This is a tiny, 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 tiny episode.
It's a baby of our big one.
It's a little tiny baby.
To get you through Monday.
Do you like Mondays, Georgia?
I don't have any feelings towards time because it doesn't exist.
Says the privileged non-office working person.
Oh, that was so privileged.
I mean, look, we're quite privileged in the fact that I never know what fucking day it is.
No.
And I can be half an hour late for everything I do because no one can fire me.
Typically, Mondays aren't the best.
Right.
Because you're tired from the weekend.
Trying to get back on that. You know, no more carbs.
Yeah.
That's always me on Monday. But now for real, no more carbs.
Mine is now for real. I'm going to start taking my vitamins. and now for real, I'm not drinking.
Every Monday.
No, never happens.
I mean, but this is what we do. We need to reset. Every day is a new beginning. Every Monday is a new life waiting to happen.
Take your vitamins, stop eating carbs.
Please.
Or just, go light on carbs.
Yeah, less carbs than normal. Sure. They recently had something come out to say that like pasta isn't bad for you.
Yeah.
Again, you just can't trust anything anyone says.
I think with I read that because I was like, yay. And it was just like, just do everything in moderation, dummy. It's just like everything.
Yeah, but easy for you to say article to tell me to eat spaghetti in moderation.
Yeah.
What feels better than shoving a shit ton of spaghetti into your mouth all at once until you almost choke?
Dude, and it's like covered in fucking cheese and stuff.
Is that how you do yours?
Hell yeah.
That's how I do mine. Butter and parm.
Butter, parm, ton of pepper. It's called cacao de pep, whatever.
What?
It's like a thing. It's like a pepper thing.
It's like it's a pepper movement. Is it a pepper trend?
It's a pepper. It's like just a ton of pepper
in your parm and butter pasta.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm 100% behind that exact mix.
Let's go eat it.
And if you can make it that cheap Parmesan cheese that's probably not real from Kraft.
I hate it. Vince calls that shaky cheese. Shaker cheese, I think is what they called it as kids.
Shaker cheese?
Yeah, because you just shake it out of the thing.
Hell yes.
Not that kind of girl.
Oh, I'm 1000% that girl.
My mom was very big on like real Parmesan, like grated over, like fresh if possible, and real maple syrup. And Vince is fucking shaker cheese and like log cabin.
Log cabin.
No.
My mom was real butter, real mayonnaise. Anytime Miracle Whip came into the equation, she had like a one-woman show about how much she hated Miracle Whip.
I love it.
So we never had any. It was like the dairy-based things that always had to be real.
Huh.
But then she was the queen of like minute rice and frozen corn, for dinner.
I love it.
I do too.
The first time Vince ever cooked for me when we were like dating was he made me shake and bake.
Oh.
And I was like, I like Midwest guys.
Yeah.
This is cool.
They know it's important. Feeding you. How about just a night, like, what if he brought you a hot dish? You're just like, I'm not going to take you out. Here's a casserole for you to keep for yourself.
100%. 100%. Keep for yourself. Good night.
You can eat this at any time. I don't have to be involved.
Until our next date. It's like this.
It's like you're playing funeral.
I love it. Okay, you go first.
Okay.
We read your shit. Here we go.
Here we go. You know the story.
Like my funeral? Okay.
The subject line of this email is, I should have gone bowling.
Okay.
Hey, homies. Perfection. When I was around 13, I was hanging out with two girls that lived in my neighborhood, and we were outside laying on my trampoline, chatting with each other on a hot summer night.
Sounds like fun.
So good. My parents had tried to get me to go bowling with them, but being as I was 13 and too cool to hang out with them, I, in parentheses, probably not so politely declined. Anyways, it was around 8 or 9 at night, dark outside, and nobody was home. It's the perfect beginning. While we were chatting, we noticed a white van pull up outside my house and park, but nobody got out of the van. It just sat there for about a half an hour with the driver still inside, engine off. We were a little creeped out, but not enough to go inside. After a while, the driver got out of the car. It was a man in all black clothing with a hoodie on.
No.
And he had the hood over his head and was facing the ground, so we couldn't see his face. He started briskly walking into my yard, still looking around and walking right toward us. At this point, we were definitely freaked out, and we hopped off the trampoline and ran onto my back deck to go inside. As we reached the back door, the man walked up the stairs on the other side of the deck and was a few feet away from us as we realized that my asshole parents had locked us out when they went bowling.
Holy shit!
At this point, the man was still coming towards us, and we sprinted off the deck and ran straight to one of the other girls' houses, only to find that nobody was home there either.
Dude, nightmare.
Her parents had locked the doors thinking she was safe at my house. The other friend lived 2 streets away. We had to pass by the van to get there, so we creeped through a few yards and saw that the van was still there. When we got to the other girl's house, thankfully her mom was home. Unfortunately, though, she laughed off our paranoia and wouldn't let us come inside because it was a, quote, beautiful night. Oh, asshole. So we hung out. That was in the email. So we hung out on the girls' front porch for a while until I figured my parents would be home, and I decided to walk back. When I got there,
He could have been breaking into their house.
yes, any number of that. Yes.
That mom should be arrested.
When I got there, the van was gone, and in its place were several police cars.
Oh, really, mom, who was said stay outside?
That's she's gonna have to live that down for the rest of her life. As it turns out, this guy had gone onto everyone's decks in the 5 backyards that all faced each other, had turned on the gas grills and left. The police said that there was enough gas in the area at that point that if somebody had lit a cigarette nearby, there would have been an explosion.
Dude.
To my knowledge, they've never caught the guy or found out why he did it, but needless to say, I spent a lot of time with my parents that summer because I sure as hell wasn't staying home alone.
Oh my God.
SSDGM SJ.
Wow.
That's a good one, huh?
Man, when parents don't believe kids and their shit, I'm just like, you have no one to blame but yourself.
Well, also, it just feels like that's a remnant of another time. Where, first of all, what parent in this day and age is like, stay outside past dark?
Yeah, don't come inside.
It's a gorgeous night outside. Like, that also, doesn't get said.
13-year-olds don't make up strange man stories. That's like an 8-year-old, maybe.
True. And yeah, what would be on the other? It's not like they're saying a crazy man is outside. Can you please buy us something?
Yeah.
They just wanted to get inside the house.
Fucking asshole.
It's so crazy.
Okay, let's do. All right. This one is called I Scanned a Serial Killer.
Okay.
Hello, all. I work as a CT technologist in a hospital, and over the years, I've had to do scans on numerous inmates from jail/prison. After I finish their exam, I always do Google searches to see why they are incarcerated, which is not always such a good idea. It always creeps me out how the most polite, well-behaved ones are usually, not always, the ones in jail for rape or murder.
Yes.
Anywho,
Sociopath.
I was working the night shift when a name popped up on my work list for a patient in the ER. I grabbed a questionnaire we filled out for all the patients before an exam and started to fill it out when my coworker happened to look over my shoulder and yelled, "Holy shit, do you know who that is?" The name didn't look familiar to me, and when inmates come in the ER, I don't know they're inmates until I walk into the room and see them in a jumpsuit surrounded by prison guards. So my coworker proceeds to tell me that he's a serial killer and his murder spree spanned 15 years and 7 states.
Fuck.
Being a murderino, I immediately Googled his name, and sure enough, it was him. And then it says, due to HIPAA laws, I can't say his name, real or serial, which is a clue, I think, or where I work because I could lose my job/license and a girl has got to eat.
Yes.
But that means he had a serial killer nickname.
Oh, okay.
So, like, I think she's giving us a clue.
He's well known.
Yeah. He's serving 2 consecutive life sentences in a prison about 90 miles from the hospital. So, armed with this knowledge, I'm about 60% excited to do his scan and 40% scared shitless. Of course, when I go to get him, he's accompanied by 2 armed prison guards. He didn't talk too much, but was polite and followed my instructions, and everything went normally. I tried desperately to act like I didn't know who he was or what he had done, but I felt like there was a giant blinking red neon. I don't know why I put the word red. It's not there.
Oh.
I just saw a red.
That's what you see.
Blinking neon sign over my head that said, "I know what you did." I had about a million questions to ask the prison guards, but I figured I needed to act like a professional and damn near bit my tongue in half trying not to pepper them with question after question. Once it was all done and over, and I had that feeling of, holy fuck, Did that just really happen? We're off. My next thought was, I need to email Karen in Georgia and tell them about this. Hopefully you guys get a kick out of the story because no one else I told seems as excited as I was about it. Thanks for doing such an awesome podcast. Getting an alert on my phone that there's a new episode available is the highlight of my day. Keep kicking ass. SSCGM JC.
Oh, man.
Yeah. We're the first thing that comes into people's mind when they hear anything about a serial killer.
God bless. You know what that actually makes me think of is there was a story from like a month or a couple weeks ago. Did you read that story about that two people, I shouldn't, that was sexist actually. Two people who worked at the hospital in either Auburn or Sacramento accessed the Golden State Killers' medical history and they both got fired.
Yeah, I don't think you should have done that.
No, you can't do that.
That's stupid.
It's literally against the law.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to do that.
Oh, man.
It's not smart. But I was like, why would you do it? Were they working there for like the summer? That's such a dumb... And then it's just like, why? So he's allergic to penicillin?
Yeah.
There's no benefit.
It's not like he's going to have a lower back tattoo that says, I'm a fucking serial killer or anything.
Yeah. I buried a bunch of other bodies up in Auburn that you need to find out about. If only.
That tattoo. You know that popular tattoo?
Yeah.
That everyone gets?
The really long one.
Yeah. It's the flash art that you just pick off the wall. Should I get a bumblebee or should I show where the bodies are buried?
Okay, ready for this one?
Always.
Subject line is sinkhole tried to take my baby and avoiding cults. I've been no greeting whatsoever.
Great, I love it. You don't need one.
I've been meaning to send in my sinkhole story and was sparked to pause catching up on the latest episodes after hearing you mention the garbage eating cult. I met them. Sorry, I was catching up because I spent 2 weeks in the woods and listening to MFM in the woods is scary as fuck. And I know I shouldn't have even been in the woods in the first place, surrounded by dusty white people.
Dusty white people.
But I need my nature therapy. On to the stories. Okay. My cult story. When I was doing my second attempt at college, a group of friends invited me to a free dinner. Fucking red flag, red flag.
Yeah.
No, there's no such thing as free dinner, lunch, or breakfast.
Only
this is me talking, not the email.
Yeah.
And also, that's every cult in the world.
Every religion is like, come to our mixer.
Spaghetti dinner.
Come to our spaghetti dinner.
Shaky cheese spaghetti dinner.
Yeah.
I'd be there in 1 second if I was like 23. And that's how they get you. Okay, so we're back in the email now.
Okay.
When we got there, it was packed with people and they were serving up typical Midwest hot dish.
Oh my God.
Hey, vegan and meat option. Why I remember this, who knows? Right away, I got really weird vibes from this dude who had organized the meal and had his little crew with him. They started talking Jesus stuff and how all the food was free from the dumpster.
Oh my God, that's not what you want to say.
I latered out of their fast because of bad vibes, gross dumpster hot dish, and I was so over Jesus. I had no idea it was a cult recruitment until I heard your episode. I don't know if anybody from school officially joined them, but I know that they held a number of dinners, and a few of my friends really got into going to them. I feel like my school was too into partying hard to join their cult, but I do know people really got into the idea of dumpster diving free food and not paying rent by squatting all over town and campus.
Fuck.
That's how they get you. The glamorous life, Sheila E. Okay. We're back.
Okay.
My sinkhole story. Sorry, there's no second. A few weeks after my first daughter was born, we had to go to a midwife checkup appointment. We were broke as fuck, didn't have a car, so in the dead of summer, I had to walk with my new baby a mile to the bus stop. Oh, God. When the bus finally came, I was dying for some bus air conditioning, but a guy got off through the front door, halting my entrance, and I remember thinking, dude, you're supposed to get off the back door. There's a system here. But being a typical Midwesterner, I said nothing and just shamed him in my mind. Anyway, after he had gotten off the bus, we stepped on and heard a loud crash behind us. We turned around and the sinkhole where we were just standing, the sidewalk where we were just standing was gone, and so was the dude. No. A sinkhole had opened up and swallowed him. The bus driver radioed 911 or whoever, told them what happened. Someone on the bus was like, back up the bus, it could open wider.
Yeah, dude.
And I was like, get me and my new baby off this bus. We all got off the bus and could hear the man screaming and the sound of water rushing to fill the hole. We tried to yell at him that help was on the way, but he couldn't hear us and just kept screaming. It was all so unsettling, to say the least. Emergency services finally showed up and was able to get him out. He was all bloody, but able to walk, and was taken away in an ambulance. Like a jerk, I can't help but think if he had just followed the rules and gotten off the back of the bus, maybe he wouldn't have ended up in that hole. My mom later said that if we had been the ones who had ended up in the hole, we would be rich with settlement money.
I was just going to say, but yeah, that guy got a fucking big settlement from the city.
I guess that's where I get my a-hole ideas.
Oh my God.
That's right. It's usually hereditary.
Yep.
Hope you like my non-murder and everybody lives stories. Lastly, I just want to say thank you for bringing to attention your struggles, mental health, addiction, eating stuff, etc. It feels like healing. Oh,
that's so nice.
Also, thank you for talking about what's happening to Native American, Indigenous women, people in this country and in Canada. Being a member of the community and working for it for a number of years, I unfortunately have more than one story of someone I know who was murdered. I don't think I will ever be able to write those stories in an email, but I am grateful that you two have helped give voice to the victims. It feels kind of awkward to send a fangirl letter, but I love you guys so much.
Aww.
SSDGM Tessa.
Aww.
Oh, that was a lovely, lovely email,
That's
Tessa.
lovely. I feel like we have to really quickly give credit to the podcast Missing and Murdered, because they are the ones who are doing the incredible work on the Indigenous people. And
yes.
God, the 60 Suite, man, that turns out to be the... Everyone listen to Missing and Murdered.
Missing and
podcast.
Murdered, and well, I think because we did talk about Wind River, but that idea that is like based on the fact that indigenous women get murdered, and they're this crazy rate, and none of them get solved.
Yeah.
No one works on them, and none of them get solved. So yeah,
that's right.
We could definitely be doing more, and we've barely done what like lots of other podcasts have done. But as long as everyone talks about it, we can all talk about it together.
That's right.
Thanks, Tessa.
With America's #1 meal kit, HelloFresh, you'll get easy, seasonal recipes and pre-measured ingredients delivered right to your door. All you have to do is cook and enjoy. HelloFresh makes cooking delicious meals at home a reality. From step-by-step recipes to pre-measured ingredients, you'll have everything you need to get a wow-worthy dinner on the table in about 30 minutes. Say goodbye to endless grocery store trips and takeout. HelloFresh has you covered. There's something for everyone, from family recipes to calorie smart and vegetarian, and fun menu series like Hall of Fame and craft burgers. HelloFresh has more 5-star recipes than any other meal kit, so you'll know you're getting something incredible. HelloFresh is flexible and it fits your lifestyle. Easily change your delivery days, food preferences, and skip a week whenever you need. Break out of your dinnerette and make deliciousness part of every week with HelloFresh. I love that even though HelloFresh is super easy and they make it really basic and like straightforward, you still feel like you're cooking this like incredible home cooked dinner. And that makes me feel good about myself. And that instead of just ordering takeout, I'm actually making something and preparing something at home. And that just, it feels good. So for $80 off your first month of HelloFresh, go to HelloFresh.com/murder80 and enter murder80. It's like receiving 8 meals for free only at HelloFresh.com/murder80, promo code murder80. Go buy.
Hey, let's do a quick depressing one.
Great.
Since we're there. It's not depressing, but, you know, it's uplifting in a depressing way. Here we go.
Okay.
So this is called Hometown Sort of. Charlie Manson.
Got it.
Hi, Georgia and Karen. I've become a recent murderina because a friend told me you guys do hometown murders where people tell their personal stories. It made me start thinking about why I became a true crime lover, and it all stems back to my family murder. Fucking Charlie Manson.
Ugh.
I decided to listen to you guys as about a month ago, and I started from episode 1. I wanted to delve into your world after a lifetime of knowing I was a descendant of a victim of a sick hippie fantasy. I can't agree with you more that his weirdo crimes don't deserve as much attention as he pined for his whole life. I even had a stupid, and then it says in parentheses, sparkling can wine moment of breaking down crying when he died because I thought such a cowardly human died in such a cowardly way. But after listening to your story on my long ass commutes in LA, I wanted to tell a different side of the story. Leno and Rosemary LaBianca came from a well-to-do Italian family. They were given lots of opportunities and had a very lovely LA circle of friends and family. My grandmother is a LaBianca, and her son, my father, was often babysat and very close with his cousins, Rosemary and Leno. now. They were living the dream. However, their murder does not define who they were. It was random, awful, painful, shocking, and something this family would never truly recover from. It is often forgotten when compared to Sharon Tate. After all, she was an icon, star, beauty, and all-around wonderful person. We can never take away from her murder and what her family endured. But I do hope we don't forget that other members of another family continue to suffer from this hippie atrocity. I still live with artifacts from the murder house on Waverly Drive that fateful 1969 evening, and I don't want to remember that asshole who did what he did. But I do want to remember my cousins who didn't get to choose their fate, who were in the wrong place at the wrong time. The LaBianca family suffered and continues to suffer with the feeling that randomization is inevitable. Oh, God. But I hope to just bring a voice to these victims I call my family and continue fighting for all victims and their families who are looking for answers. I appreciate my anonymity, and stay sexy, don't get murdered. I'm like about to cry.
It's so true. I will say this, just from my perspective, as I read Helter Skelter way too young.
Me too.
The LaBianca murders are very prominent in my mind.
Definitely.
And I understand what they mean, that there's like, that's the gross part about the true crime is the fame element.
Yeah.
And anytime like the media or any of us, if you pull a good story through, that's the thing that goes first and foremost. But I remember when I read Helter Skelter, it really does strike you how horrifyingly random and tragic it is that they just lived along the way. It was just like this thing where it was just
this like older happy couple who lived, right near us.
Yes.
In this, just up in the hills, and it's just so random and
terrible and terrifying, and so that's a great point.
Yeah, but that was beautifully written in a like that perfect thing of like, but these are victims too, but I want them not to be thought of as this way, but I do want people to know how fucked up it made a whole family, and it's a lot of good points there.
Yeah, thank you for writing that.
Yeah, so I have a positive one we can end, not a positive one. I have a funny one we can end on.
Okay.
Do you want to do that?
Sure.
Okay. I don't know if I should tell you that. I'm not going to tell you what the title is.
Save it.
Mimi, Elvis, Steven, Georgia, and Karen. That's new.
Sure.
Oh, I guess this is before Dottie.
Well, they really picked and choose who they were going to mention.
Dottie and Frank and George are out.
Goodbye.
So says, I never really had a good murder story to share, except my mom's friend was just recently on the prosecuting team for the huge Holly Bobo case in Tennessee. Look it up if you don't know it, it says. But as soon as you said you send in stories of an awkward time, you've shared a story in a group that you regretted, I knew just the thing to send in. So a couple years back, I was trying out a new church group, and someone had the best proposal for a weird icebreaker question. If you could choose a liquid to come out of each pointer finger for the rest of your life, what would it be? That's a fucking creepy and disgusting, awesome question. Yeah, Karen's pointing at her mouth while laughing with her finger. Okay, wait, let me keep going because I know you guys are going to say this. You can imagine most people said coffee or something boring and safe like that.
Coffee, gross.
And then it says points to the girl who said gasoline, free gas forever, and chapstick, even though chapstick is debatably not a liquid.
It is not a liquid.
And it's so cheap. That's what you're going to go for?
Also, gasoline would burn your finger.
Yeah, but you would make a lot of money probably. But either way, every answer
Chapstick
was still significantly less awkward than mine. Maybe lip gloss.
Yeah.
But not...
Still.
Okay. Naturally, I wanted one finger to be a steady stream of margarita, but considering it was a church thing, I figured I'd say Diet Coke for one finger.
Nice.
Having gone towards the end, my slight social anxiety got the best of me in that time. I was waiting and gave me lots of time to think of a good second liquid. Being the natural freaking goody two-shoes I am, I answered really seriously and honestly and came up with, this is all caps, breast milk.
No.
Yeah, you heard me right. Breast milk. Imagine the group of college-aged girls and guys who, of course, were strangers to me. Before I could explain that the reason was because I'd go to Kenya, and there are some very undernourished men and babies who need breast milk to survive. I had already lost the crowd and been deemed the total weirdo of the group.
Yeah, they were right to do that to you.
Good. No recovering from that one. Moral of the story, feel free to open up to new people, but maybe only to a certain extent at first. Don't take a goofy icebreaker question to a serious save the world level. If you ever feel like margarita is an inappropriate answer, just go ahead and rule out breast milk too. Thanks for the laughs and fascinating stories you've given me and all my friends in architecture school as we were up all night. Delirious, and for continuing to bind us post-grad with your SSDGM. GM meaning group message. Love y'all and goodbye, Polly Ann. P.S. Can you two and Stephen please share with us what liquids you guys would choose to come out of each pointer finger?
We can.
All answers accepted. MFM is a safe space.
Bullshit, Pollyann, you fucking weirdo with your breast milk. Not all answers except okay. Because here's what's hilarious about that. I love the idea that she's like, okay, I got to play to this crowd, which I will tell you right now is always a mistake.
Yeah.
When you think you need to play, like you're going to play to a crowd,
I'm going to wow them.
You're going to get it wrong.
Make them laugh, or I'm
Yes.
going to do anything for this crowd.
Yes. Secondly, you could have just said milk, and it would have been fine.
Yeah, the breast milk specifically. Chocolate milk.
Chocolate milk. You didn't have to name the country you thought you could go to where people were so poor. Like everything about that. It was like when you're shooting for the stars of like, this is how I'm going to be good.
Incorrect.
And then, oh my God.
Turns out there is an incorrect answer to that.
Oh, I love it so much. Incorrect answers are more fun anyway. Oh, shit.
First thing I could think of is kombucha. Because it's good for you and I like it.
Right.
Steven?
Well, I mean, the margarita answer obviously is the obvious one, but I feel like you could do tequila and that way you don't have it pre-mixed. So then you could, for
Very
more
smart.
occasions.
And it's not, because sometimes margarita's too sweet. But if they make it the wrong kind to come out of your finger, you're like, oh, I wanted a skinny
strawberry?
one. Yeah.
Jalapenos, your fingers are just...
You're always like, you scratch your nose and you fucking...
You have like gas and margarita, and you're just like, fuck.
What if you mix up which one's gas and which one's margarita?
And you become Sammy Hagar?
And you still get fucked up. What's yours, Karen?
I don't want shit in my finger. If I was at this party, I'd wait till it gets to me and be like, you're all fucking weird and perverted.
Here's my weird answer, Steven, and Steven will understand this. What about tuna juice so all cats love you?
You're just like leaking it around the alleyways.
And cats are just following you everywhere you go.
And all cats love you, and all people are like, hey, Georgia, hey, have you taken a shower lately?
About Georgia.
Just shake your hand. It's all...
Stop taking
Forget
a shower.
which one's tequila, and it tastes like kombucha, kind of.
See, the first thing I thought of, the reason I was laughing so hard was like Spider-Man style. I wasn't thinking of stuff you drink. I would think like, what's fun to shoot at people? Like
that's
silly string.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
That's good too.
With some, just like a high pressure hose, like at the car wash.
Yeah.
Like that, where like it would almost be like having a gun, but it's just water. So
That makes
you're not
me
gonna
think
kill anybody.
of our friend Joe Naray has that story of how when he was a little kid, they were all playing Super Soaker, and he thought it'd be really funny. Like they would put clothing dye or dye it and dye your clothes sometimes, and he thought it'd be really funny to put boiling hot water in his and shot his friend with it.
Jesus Christ!
And yeah, that's the story. Is how awful he was. So that's it.
God.
Joe Naray. Listen to Joe Naray
It'd
radio
be
podcast.
fun if I sculled my friend.
That moment of you do it, and you're like, ha 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 ha, and then the kid's like, oh no, this burns.
Yeah.
So not hot water.
No, hot water would be bad. A nice room temp water,
like tea,
high pressure. You could wash your car.
Oh yeah.
You could make someone stand back.
You can heat up a pool when it's too.
You could also give thirsty cats might like you.
Yeah.
If you're still on that cat thing.
With lotion count, or is that not liquidy enough?
Is that liquid? Lotion's probably.
Yeah, that's a liquid.
How about
what are you gonna do with that lotion, Steven?
It's just convenient.
Every answer is like we're staring into people's psyches, but you're all innocent, like milk, and then it's like, ew, you're fucking
gross.
perv.
Yeah, you're gonna smell like rotten milk all the time, and like,
ew, you're so gross.
Lube,
Vaseline,
even like something as innocent as lube can be fucking.
Okay, hold on. I love icebreaker questions.
Yeah.
I love this shit. I love answers, and we used to play would you rather. It was like, but we called it this or that. And so it'd be like flying and invisibility, and everyone would give their answer, and then everyone would start attacking everybody on how their answer was wrong.
Who's got the wrong one? What?
I was
that would be stupid if you could fly, then you did.
Where it's like the friends that I had that said invisibility, I was like, okay, you just basically admitted you're a perv
I don't
to
trust
everybody.
you. Yeah.
You're untrustworthy.
You read my diary.
You're sneaky Pete.
Yeah.
And you're giving up flying.
Totally.
So that you can fucking spy on people, you weasel.
Everyone send us your favorite
Liquids.
icebreaker. P.O. box. Send us your favorite icebreaker questions, or when your icebreaker shit has gone very bad, or you did like a terrible first impression.
Guys, what if that's the picture. The picture I have is like when you start a question like that and you think it's going to be so fun.
You guys, what is your...
Okay, hold on.
And then maybe we can just make a list of those, so like, because they're not all stories, just send us like icebreaker questions.
Yeah, that's so good. Also, flying or invisibility.
Obviously flying. Now I'm not going to say it.
Yeah,
If it
that's
was
right.
invisibility, I wouldn't tell you.
That was such a setup.
Steven?
Well, I mean, it's just so much more fun.
Dude, flying is the greatest American hero.
It's the greatest American everything. I think my honest answer for the liquids is iced tea on one finger and lemonade on the other.
Girl.
Fuck, and you can have separate.
Wait, why don't you just put Arnold Palmer in one and then you can get another one with whatever you want in it?
Because I already can do that with my iced tea and lemonade.
At least you could have like gasoline, liquid gold.
The idea that you're going to shoot gasoline out of your finger is A, greedy, B, insane. There's no way you don't get cancer from that and the fumes. You could never smoke again or do whatever you want with fire. You just stay away from fire for the rest of your life.
Right.
You go skiing and people are like, let's gather around. You're like, sorry, I'll blow up. It's the worst idea. You greedy fucking...
Thanks
this
for
is
listening,
the discussion I want to be having.
This is the best.
Send us your ideas.
Everything myfavoriteMurder@gmail.com.
Goodbye. Oh, stay sexy.
And don't get murdered.
Goodbye. I jumped my line.
Elvis, you want a cookie? Good boy. Here, right here. Don't go.